My name is Ryan, and you're listening or watching Medtronica. Medtronica's mission is to bring people closer to their emotions through electronic music. And today is special because my guest is none other than the legendary Nick Warren. Some of you may know him as a pioneer of the progressive house genre. You also may know him through his deep melodic soundscapes with Way Out West. You also may know him through the label and touring event that he and his partner Petra run, the Soundgarden. As far as careers go, Nick has done it all, but he's not resting on his laurels, and he's far from finished and more motivated than ever. I had the honor to sit down with Nick during the Soundgarden's debut at the Sagamore Hotel during Miami Music Week. What an epic event. The energy was palpable and the lineup was incredibly well curated. Congratulations to Petra, Nick, Jon Cowan, and all of the artists that performed that night. It was something special to be a part of and witness. Nick and I sat down and spoke about some of the pressures and insecurities we all experience, specifically as men, and the pressures that come with trying to be cool when it comes to your musical taste. We also talked about his project with Jody Wisterhoff, Way Out West, and how those sounds have the ability to be very healing for someone like myself who struggles with mental health. I really hope you enjoy this episode. I just want to say, before we start off anything, I am super humbled to be sitting here with you. And Hernan.
I ate your cakes, come on.
What's up? Yeah, my grandfather's, and I told him I can't take credit for that one.
Okay.
But I've been a fan of dance music for a long time, and my whole part in this is I'll call it the medicinal side of music, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
And the power that it has to impact people.
Okay.
I'm somebody who struggles with like depression or things like that, mental health. And music, specifically progressive house, specifically melodic house, like things that you do with Way Out West, have really impacted me.
Great. Well, I think that stems, you see, it's mainly because it's mainly instrumental. So I think, when I was a kid growing up, it was like, the more indie scene, and it was like that soundscape, that wall of noise kind of idea, where you create things in your head, whether negative or positive, but the music really does guide you through your thought processes. And if you can find, look, most men struggle with a bit of mental health.
For sure, and it's not really talked about.
No. Or there's talked about more now, but then, but then I think it tends to be talked about. So when it's an issue.
Yes.
So whereas I think that there's always hints of it from a boy of 6.
For sure.
It's. We all have doubts about what we're doing or what we achieve or relationships or anything or any shit.
Yes.
If at school the piece of pottery you made, it's shit, and people go, no, it's not, it's great. You know it's shit. Yeah. And yet people keep telling me it's great. It isn't.
No.
It's rubbish. So there's pressures put on you also, you see, to say that you've achieved when you know internally that you haven't. And it's the same in music. I've worked with loads of people who are surrounded by people that they make a track and everyone goes, it's amazing. It's not. It's not bad, but it's not. I always judge music is like when your grandson says to you, okay, in 2003, what were the 3 records which really changed stuff? And there's not much in electronic music now which you could go, that. 15 or 20 years ago, yes, that Sasha expander or something like that, you go, that was it. And And in the old days here, as we touched on earlier, sort of there was the tune of the conference, which Carl Cox, me, Tenaglia, Richie Houghton, Deep Dish, they'd all play it, and that smashed it. That togetherness in electronic music is kind of gone now. It's very much split, pigeonholed, techno, progressive, deep house. It's all been separated, which again puts pressure on the fan base, because you're thinking, oh, I like that, but I also like that, but I'm.
It's an identity crisis for the fan, almost.
Yes, it is.
It's like, am I going to be ostracized
Yes.
if I
no, you will be.
progressive house, but then I also go over here and listen to Richie Houghton?
Yes, exactly.
Or then I come over and like I'm a fan of Doc Martin. Like, am I going to be ostracized with them? And
Yes.
he said something very similar yesterday. We interviewed Doc.
Okay.
And he said back in the day, there were like 15 of us here. 93,
Yes.
94, 95. But it was this community where everyone was here for those reasons.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's too pigeonholed, and now it's like, oh no, I'm not going to go see those people over there. I'm going to go over here. It's like, let's remember why we're here for. It's the community.
Yeah, that's right.
And to your point, I think that kind of hurts the fan base.
Yeah. Well, it confuses people as well.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if they're cool or not.
Yeah, it's am I allowed to?
Yeah.
Am I safe to go? Can I go in the water?
And especially for young men, so we all strive when we're young to be cool. It's part of being a young man, you know. I want to be cool, and your musical choices when you're a young man are very important.
That's a very interesting, and I think that's a really important take. What would you say were some of the musical choices that really impacted you when you were younger?
I think it was, for me, because I'm a bit older, it was the post-punk era, really.
We were talking about indie.
Yes, indie, post-punk, bands like The Cure, New Order, bands like Echo and the Bunnymen. It was very much a dark post-punk look about it, which was very different from normal. So we would never go to discos, we would never go to nightclubs, you know, because that was full of people that were in England that danced to awful music, and the two things never crossed over. So it's very tribal, and of course when electronic music came, it was very tribal again. It's like ravers were ravers. I'm sure you remember in the States it's the same.
Same, very much so. You stuck to your crew, ravers are ravers, and you didn't really mess with anybody else.
No, exactly.
I want to take this in a little bit of a different direction and focus on the mental health aspect. So COVID was a difficult time for a lot of people. And I want to know, how did it impact you in particularly?
I think COVID affected everybody very differently. I loved it.
Wow, can you speak to that?
I really enjoyed the time off.
Wow.
Because I've been touring non-stop for 20 years almost.
That's a long time.
Non-stop.
That's a long time.
It's not like bands. It's not like, say the Rolling Stones would go on tour for like 60 days and then they'll take a year and a half off. We're at it every week of the year, constantly, year after year after year. So for us to be suddenly told, you stay at home, me and Petra were like, this is heaven. You know, waking up in your own bed on a Sunday morning, growing vegetables. I ran my business, Nick Warren the DJ, exactly the same as I always did, apart from going to gigs.
Wow.
So all my promos I did, I listened to tracks every day, my record box, a playlist, I filled the sticks, I did the whole process apart from going out.
And I think a lot of people see this life on Instagram that's glorified, DJs touring, getting on jets, going here. It's gotta be hard. It's got to be hard on you, on mental.
I don't think it's hard at all. I think it's
Oh.
it's managing, it's managing the lifestyle properly.
And what would you say are some big, like some tips on managing that sleep?
It's all about sleep. Do not go to the after party. Do not go. Nothing good happens at the after party. I used to go to after parties. I must admit, there are a few years in the past when I would say no, I'm not going, and then I'd go.
Classic.
as you all do. But nothing
for
good
sure.
happens there. No, but then, as being a touring DJ now, because I can only speak for myself. I don't drink alcohol now when I'm playing, which has made a big difference. If I'm not working or after my set, I'll have a drink, but then I don't drink in my sets anymore. And then sleeping, I'll sleep 2 or 3 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah, just, and don't believe the hype. You're just another person in the world, man. You're not a superstar. I think once a lot of DJs see themselves as Mick Jagger, it's a
quick
slope.
decline. Yeah. And I think that speaks true to what you had said earlier, where the reason you're still doing this is the passion.
Yeah.
And the DJs and the artists that have been around and have built a legacy, I think that speaks true.
Yeah.
They're not in it
Yeah.
for the money, they're in it for the passion and the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Cool, man.
thank you so much
Great,
for your
man.
time. I
Pleasure.
really appreciate it, Nick. Thank
Good
you.
fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I talked a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, of course, brother.
I want to honor you for doing that.
No.
Thanks for